Alright, so we did a little bit of shooting recently. And this thing needs a cleaning. So we'll go ahead and do that today. Before you disassemble a Glock, you definitely want to make sure the trigger is pulled. I did that one time. I took the gun apart without pulling the trigger, and that was not fun. So make sure and pull the trigger before you disassemble a Glock. Anyway, these things are super easy to pull apart. You just basically grab it like this, pull the slide back a bit, grab the tabs on each side, pull them down, and the slide comes right off. Pull out the recoil spring and the barrel. And that's it. That's all you gotta do. Alright, so what I like to do first is soak the barrel. I like to use ballistol like a lot of guys, so you leave the barrel soaking for a little bit. We're gonna wet it down, nice and wet, and we'll let that sit. And dry my hands off a bit here. And first thing I like to do is go through the slide and do a good dry wipe. You can see it's really dirty. And if you just do a quick dry wipe, it takes a lot of that stuff out of there. And it really cuts down your cleaning time. So dry wipe everything. And that's pretty good. As you can see, there's a lot less dirt on there now. Alright, so next I like to just kind of wipe down everything a little bit, get most of the junk off. And then for the mag well, I like to use a toothbrush. That's why this is all dirty. I only use the toothbrush for the mag well. So we'll go ahead and get in the mag well here, clean that up. Basically just dry brush it. And that's basically all it's going to need. Alright. A little bit more down here. Good. Okay. Next thing I like to do, get a little ballistol here on a Q-tip. Go through and basically give everything a nice light coat everywhere. Getting the channels on the side here, channels on the other side. Make sure and get in there nice and good. Basically give everywhere a nice light coat. Just like that. That's good. Maybe a little here, a little here. You can see it's pretty dirty. We'll let that soak. And then we're gonna do a couple little crevices here. We're gonna clean off these tabs here. This is the only thing that holds the slide to the frame, so you want to clean those off. And I'm using a Q-tip. A lot of guys don't like to use Q-tips. You just want to be careful, make sure and don't leave any hairs behind. But if you're careful, it's not a big deal. Right here gets pretty dirty. Right in this little hole here. Just like that. All the little nooks and crannies everywhere. And you don't have to worry about getting ballistol on plastic or the polymer. It's not going to hurt it at all. Right here. Right there. That's pretty much it. So we'll turn this over, get the dry side, and dry everything up. Try and get underneath these tabs here. A lot of dirt collects under there. There we go. Get everywhere that we went. Dry it up. It's getting a little hairy there. Get a new one. There's actually quite a bit of dirt right here. There we go. There we go. Nice and clean. And that's pretty much it for the frame. Real easy, real simple. That's it. And then I'll take a paper towel, go ahead and wipe down everywhere we got on the slide here. This is a lot faster than a Q-tip. There we go. Nice and clean everywhere. As you can see that a lot of dirt's coming off of there. But a lot less because we dry wiped it. I always tell guys, if you do a dry wipe before you hit it with liquid, you're going to get a lot better results. Alright. We'll get right here. Basically wet it down, just clean it off. This doesn't get too dirty, but it does get a little bit dirty here. See some dirt coming off of there. Just make sure you don't leave any hairs behind if you're using a Q-tip. And that looks good. Okay, that's pretty much done. Now we're going to go ahead and finish the barrel off. This is the wrong patch there. There we go. I like to use a jag. A lot of guys like to use a brush and a jag, or maybe just a brush. But I like the jag. And this thing is rifled, so you just want to go in one direction. We're going to do this a couple times. There we go. As you can see that it's kind of dirty, but not too bad. Flip it over. Use the other side of the patch here. There we go. Let's run the dry one through there. Whoop. There we go. And there we are. A little bit of dirt still. Run through a couple more times. There we go, it's coming out cleaner now. Let's put a little more ballistol in there. Okay. Let's switch to a dry one now. There we go. You can do this as many times as you want. I don't really get too crazy with it, just as long as it's pretty clean. Once the patch starts coming out clean, then I'm pretty much done. Let's see how she looks now. That looks good. Don't really see too much dirt on there. Pretty much a clean patch. Okay. Do one more for good measure. There we go. And my hands are basically ballistol stoked, or I'm doing it again, basically soaked with ballistol, so I'm going to wipe the barrel down here. Wipe my hands down. And then we'll go ahead and do the outside of the barrel. Just kind of wipe everything down. And one thing I do want to say is I see a lot of videos where guys aren't doing the crown of the barrel. And that always made me wonder why no one ever does that. But you can see that thing is dirty. So you need to clean it. And actually it gets really dirty. I could sit here for a long time and just do this over and over and over and still not be able to get all the dirt off. But I get most of it off until it's pretty clean. You can see that thing is dirty. So be sure and do your barrel crown, guys. You know, I always hear people saying that you don't want to go backwards through a barrel when you're cleaning it because you could hurt the crown. But what's your crown like if you don't clean it? It's probably not perfect. So I don't see how the argument is too valid if you don't clean your crown. Make sure and do that. That's pretty good. Alright, so barrel looks real good. What I like to do is clean the very end of it with a Q-tip here. There's a few little cracks, nooks and crannies that can't really get to with a paper towel. Make sure and clean your feeding ramp real good. That looks pretty good. And it is dirty. Alright. That looks pretty good. Clean under here. And that's pretty much it. Just wipe my hands off again. And we'll lube it up and put it back together. And since it's a Glock, you really don't need a whole lot of lube. Basically, I just, actually, let me take a dry one and go through these channels once more. There we go, get all that dirt out of there. There we go. Let's do it one more time. That's pretty dirty. And it looks pretty good. There we go. That's good enough. Alright, so we'll take our wet one again here. Get inside the rails. I like to do just one good pass. And I like to get this a little bit here, very light coat. That a little bit. Maybe a little bit in here. That one doesn't need it. And I do like to do a little bit right here, because that's where the barrel rubs. Or the top of the barrel. Basically when it shoots, the slide comes back and the top of the barrel rubs right in there. So I like to put a little bit right there. And for the barrel, I like to put a very light coating all on the barrel. So you didn't get that happy face everyone talks about, right? And a little bit on top, just like that. Maybe about half. A little bit on the sides. Just like that. It's done. Get these tabs. Okay. And I like to put a little bit on top of this metal piece here. And that's about it. It's good to go. A little bit of hair there. So we're gonna put it back together. Actually, what I'll do real quick is take a patch just to preserve the barrel. Soak it down with ballistol. Okay. And run that through so that we leave a very light coating on the inside of the barrel. There we go. So that way the inside of the barrel has very light coating. Sorry, I'm doing this backwards. There we go. There we go. Alright, actually this is a little bit wet. There we go, much better. Okay, so put the barrel in, spring recoils in, and you can, if you want, I do this every once in a while, take a paper towel and just kind of wipe down the recoil spring. That's pretty much all you can do other than take it completely apart, but there's not really any dirt coming off of there, so this thing's fine. Put that in backwards. Okay, get it on the frame. Gotta start at the beginning. There we go. And what we'll do is wipe down this a bit, dry it off. You don't want to leave that soaking. And there we go. Nice clean Glock. Alright. Function test. Everything's good. Nice and clean. Anyway, that's pretty much how I do my Glock. You know, everyone does things a little bit differently than one another, but that's just an example of how I do it. I hope it helped you guys out a little bit. And be safe, happy shooting.